What's good, YouTube? Devil92 here, back again, once again. And today, I am your coach of the Tucson Terrakions in the UCL, the United Championship League. And this week, you guys, we are here for our Week 13, I think, our Week 13 team preparation video, because, of course, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, our battle against Game Boy Luke and the Bristol City Blazikens will go up. So today we're going to go ahead and break down the team that we're using and why we brought what we brought, so that everyone can get to know the team better. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just so you know why we brought what we brought, god damn it. Before we get into things, I did want to give you guys a brief little update about what's going on with this season, because the season is coming to an end, however, well, very, very soon, because there's only 15 weeks in the season and then playoffs. We're in Week 13 right now, so there's only 2 weeks of UCL left, possibly. We do still have a chance to make it to playoffs. The way playoffs work is the top 4 teams in the league will go on. It's semifinals of 2 battles, and the winner of those battles will go into finals. Whoever wins that is the winner of the entire first season of UCL. There are 5 teams in contention for the top 4 spots right now. There is Dan, aka A-Drive, coach of the St. Louis Rampardos. There is other Dan Patters, who is coach of the Newcastle New Kings. There's Shady, coach of the New York Yankees. I almost said Newcastle Yankees, goddamn. New York Yankees. There's Joey, coach of the Bronx Bearticks, and then there's ourselves. We are the Tucson Terrakions, and we are right on the cusp of being kicked out or staying in. We literally have to win our Week 13, Week 14, and Week 15 battles to make sure we stay in contention. And the loss against Patters and the Newcastle New Kings 2 weeks ago means even more now than before, because I don't know if you guys know, the UCL Twitter account should have tweeted it out. Again, if you guys aren't following that, I don't know why you're not. That's where all the updates and information about UCL go to, because as the coaches, we're only going to update you guys directly on things that like affect our team. We're not going to give you broad UCL updates overall. That's what the Twitter's there for. Unfortunately, Leo, coach of the Durham Terrakions, El Master Show Off, he had to step down for the rest of the season because a lot of personal IRL stuff is going on, and I understand how it is. You know, IRL comes before anything on the internet any day of the week, and I was in that situation earlier this year where I just had to take a few weeks back, just step back and handle things, because you just have to prioritize things, and it sucks, really, really sucks. But because of that, one of Joey and Shady both battled Leo in the last 3 weeks. I think Shady battles Leo next week, and I think, does Joey battle the week after? I don't remember. I just remember Leo battles both of them, but because Leo has had to step back and the Durham Terrakions are no longer part of Season 1, that means that Joey and Shady, both the Yankees and the Bearticks, get a bye week that week, and they just get a free W. So that sucks for us because we have to work even harder because we ain't getting no free W's, god damn it. We have to work even harder to pick up these last 3 weeks worth of wins. If Joey or Shady lose, however, that would be guaranteeing us a spot, as long as we don't lose, of course, knock on wood. That would be guaranteeing us a spot. So it's really like a big teeter-totter. Every week it's nail-biting and figuring out who's going to make it and who's not. Because if we lose another week, then it's done, so we're not making it into playoffs, which is perfectly fine with me. I said when we started this that I'm not super confident in my Wi-Fi skills. I'm more confident now than I was before, because I think we have performed above and beyond expectations for everybody in the league so far. And my original goal was to go positive, 8-7, and we've already done that. My secondary goal was to go 10-5. That's 2-1. And if we can win one more battle this season, I don't want to jinx myself, then we'll absolutely hit 10-5. And I am more than ecstatic with that as a record. For the first time being in a league type format, especially with someone who's not super into competitive battling, for me to go 10-5, 2-1, that's absolutely insane. So by all means, if we don't make it to playoffs, which would suck, because of course, we're going to try our hardest and go as far as we can, but if we don't make it to playoffs, hopefully we at least go 10-5, because that would just be awesome. That would just be awesome. I'm still working on some end of season shirts for you guys. A lot of you guys have been asking for Cindy or possibly liability shirts, so they're almost ready. They'll be up soon enough. But either way, enough talk about that. Let's talk about why we're here. It is to prepare for the Bristol City Blazikens. If you guys are hyped, and of course if you're a proud member of the Nappy Nation, make sure you smash that like button down below for us, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. But when it comes to the Bristol City Blazikens, Their team, their draft is very, very scary. Their team, their draft is very, very scary. Let me, hold on, I thought I changed this. Let me click save. You should always save your changes. Only you can read save data. But when it comes to Bristol City Blazikens, their draft is Mega Scizor from OU, Dragonite, Thundurus T. They have Suicune, Roserade, and Azelf from UU. From RU, they have Ambipom. Why is Ambipom RU? I don't know. Hitmontop and Typhlosion. And from NU, they have Tangela, which we traded them week 2, Rotom Fan, and Caracosta. So, while their lower tier threats don't seem too crazy threatening, oh, I take that back. Ambipom, Hitmontop, and Typhlosion are all crazy threatening. Tangela can eat hits for days. Caracosta can shell smash and sweep us. Their lower tier threats are really, really scary. Their higher tier threats are even scarier. Mega Scizor checks our Mega Gardevoir. For once, someone has something that can handle our Mega Gardevoir. But fucking Choice Band and Dragonite would pop a hole through our entire team. Thundurus, if you guys remember, speaking of Elmas to show off, Thundurus, when we took on the Durham Dragons in week 4, Thundurus was a huge threat then. He's still a huge threat now. Suicune is just annoying as shit because it sits on the field and stalls, which, I mean, Cindy does, but still, it's annoying as shit. Crocoon is annoying. Roserade is crazy because Roserade is so much better than you guys think. It literally is so much better than you think. It has like base 125 special attack. It gets Dazzling Gleam, Extra Sensory, Sludge Bomb, Leaf Storm. A lot of times they run HP on it. It's crazy diverse, its moveset, with like base 90 speed as well. And then Azelf. Azelf is terrifying. It's got base 115 speed. And it can be physical or special. It's frail as hell, which we're going to try and play to our advantage, but still, it's fucking ridiculous. So the Bristol City Blazikens, whether Luke knows it or not, they have a very, very scary, very, very scary draft. And I feel like this is going to be one of those weeks where if we go for the wrong move on the wrong turn, it's going to cost us the entire battle. Because we're going to end up falling into one of the Pokemon that he has, and they're just going to tear a hole through our entire team. So either way, let's go ahead and get into this. I want you guys to know that it is currently 10:04 a.m. on Friday. You guys will see this later today. I'm actually going to be battling Luke in the Bristol City Blazikens shortly after I record this video. So, it's very, very nerve-wracking. I just woke up a little while ago, so pardon me. Excuse me if I'm all over the place. But starting things off, we have 30 minutes, our Rotom Heat. He got a break last week for the first time all season, but he's back again this week. Back again once again because he absolutely 100% walls Scizor. The biggest threat to our team, or one of the biggest threats to our team, Mega Scizor, because it handles our Mega Gardevoir, Titania, so well. Completely walls. I mean, like a Bug Bite would still hurt, but pretty much we can take any hit from Scizor, hit him back, and burn him with a Will-O-Wisp. We can overheat all over him, do whatever we need to do. We decided to go a little more offensive this week with Choice Scarf, Trick, in case we need to, like, scarf his Suicune, or scarf his Roserade, or scarf his Ambipom, just to keep them from, keep the Ambipom from faking out over and over and over again. I got something for that Ambipom. You guys just wait and see. You wait and see. But Luke does rely on the Ambipom a lot. When he battled Numnexus, he really swapped the Ambipom in and out, in and out, in and out, over and over and over again to get fake outs off. And it's just like, oh my god, stop! So the Ambipom is a huge crutch for the Bristol City Blazikens, and if they don't bring it, I would honestly be surprised. But, like I said, Rotom Heat, 30 minutes is here. Overheat, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, Trick, 4 in HP, 252 special attack, 252 speed. We're a modest nature. And I did sit down and build this team, and originally I had Swellow on it. And then I went and took it to Nexus, and we were talking about it, and Swellow, Urza, our Swellow, ended up getting swapped out for liability. But I'm really, really happy that I built the majority of this team, because Nexus has been team building with me all season, but this one, I actually sat down and did so much of it on my own. I'm so happy. But either way, like I said, Rotom, I keep getting sidetracked. Rotom is here for the Scizor. We decided to run Modest Scarf instead of Timid Scarf, because a lot of the Bristol City Blazikens aren't too terribly fast. That's the thing. Scizor, not that fast at all. It's like base 70 speed. Dragonite's like base 80 speed. Thundurus is like 104, something like that. But I think we made it so that we outspeed. But even then, still, Thundurus, I don't think it really do much to us besides like knock off, because we resist both of its stab. Suicune, we absolutely outspeed. Roserade, we made it so that we outspeed Roserade, I think. Unless he's running a Scarf Roserade, we 100% outspeed it. And he's been running Assault Vest Roserade for a lot of his matches. So we will see what we can do. So unless he's rocking HP Rock on that thing, we should be able to dish out decent damage. Or we can trick it and keep it from really doing anything at all. I mean, it would suck to Scarf a Roserade, but at the same time, you know, it would keep it locked into something, and maybe he can't go for Toxic Spikes, or maybe he would lock himself into Leaf Storm or Giga Drain or something. And all we have to do is just set in the right mon, and we 100% wall that Roserade and get it out of there. Azelf, I'm not sure if we outspeed the Azelf off the top of my head. I'm not 100% sure, but again, there's the notion of if the Azelf is Scarf, you know, then that would be a problem for us as well, which would suck. I think, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think we outspeed the Azelf. The Ambipom, I'm pretty sure we outspeed as well. Hitmontop, we definitely outspeed. Typhlosion, we outspeed, unless he's running Scarf Typhlosion, for whatever reason. Tangela, 100%. Run Fan, 100%. And Caracosta, we absolutely outspeed, unless he gets a Shell Smash up. So what we decided to do is run Modest instead of Timid, just so we can hit just a little bit harder. Because another one of the big threats that he has is Thundurus T. And when it comes to Thundurus, an Overheat, we can't Volt Switch it because it's got Volt Absorb, but an Overheat does like 52% or something like that with us being Modest. So that was one of the big reasons we wanted that, is so that we can just hit it as hard as we can and then just get the fuck up out of there. We can Will-O-Wisp it if we really want to, but I want to Overheat all over that Thundurus, get it the fuck out, and we're good to go. And plus, with Modest nature, those Volt Switch are going to be hitting that Suicune just a little bit harder, and maybe we can keep it from setting up over and over and over again. So I don't know. We'll see. But 30 Minutes is back this week. Up next, we have James, our Weezing, who we actually traded back in week 2 from the Bristol City Blazikens. We traded Tangela for Weezing. And it's just ironic enough that he's here this week for this week's battle. But he is run with Black Sludge, James, our Weezing, Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, Will-O-Wisp, Pain, Split, Max HP, Max Defense, Foreign Special Type, Bold Nature. It's really super standard Weezing, because again, if it's not broken, why fix it? You know, it works, it serves its purpose. And again, he is here for that Scizor. Scizor cannot touch us. I said Scizor cannot touch us, but we can touch him in all of his parts with the Will-O-Wisp and Flamethrower. Sludge Bomb is there to hit the Tangela. Of course, we can really hit any of the physical attackers. We can just send this guy in. Hitmontop, if he wants to click Close Combat ever, Weezing eats it up. We can burn the Hitmontop. Really, when it comes to Roserade, we might be able to eat up one Leaf Storm, 1 or 2 Leaf Storms, and maybe I guess we get it back with Flamethrower, because I think Sludge Bomb is neutral, but then again it's Stab, so I don't know. Really, he's here just to wall out a lot of the Bristol City Blazikens physical threats. That Dragonite, especially, he can't Earthquake us. We can eat up an Outrage. Any of the elemental punches and E-Speed we can eat up as well, and all we have to do is burn him, and bye-bye multi-scale forever and ever and ever. So really, Weezing was a no-brainer this week. He just had to go on the team just because of his typing, the fact that he has Levitate, and the fact that his defense is too damn high, goddammit. So hopefully we can play and keep him alive as well. Up next, we have Cindy, the Gastrodon. Cindy had last week off as well, I'm pretty sure, but Cindy is back this week, and she's ready to take lives. She's ready to take lives. It's kind of weird running 2 physical walls like that back to back on the team. Rotom is more of our special wall, and of course that girl has a little bit of special bulk to her. So these are our 2 physical walls. We have again a Bold Nature. It's pretty standard EV spread, 248 HP, 252 defense, 8 in special attack. We're rocking Rocky Helmet and Storm Drain this week. Rocky Helmet is there specifically again for those physical attackers. If Scizor ever wants to hit us, Rocky Helmet damage. Dragonite ever wants to hit us, Rocky Helmet damage. Again, Hitmontop, Ambipom, Caracosta, whatever you want to hit us with, Rocky Helmet damage. We're getting it off. We decided to go with Rocky Helmet over that again for damage, and because we have Recover, we don't really specifically need leftovers this time around, but we're rocking Scald, Ice Beam, Clear Smog, and Recover. We have not run Clear Smog on Cindy since week 2, I believe, when we battled Twit and the Grand Canyon Greninjas. Does anybody remember what Clear Smog does? Raise your hands. Does anybody remember? Yes, no, yes, no. Clear Smog is a poison type attack, of course, but it clears any stat changes. And the reason why we want to bring this is for that Suicune. In a 1v1 battle, Gastrodon loses to Suicune when in Stall War, because Suicune can just set up over and over and over again, and eventually Ice Beam's going to do enough damage that it'll hurt us. And we really can't do anything in return. You know, we could try and toxic stall it out and do whatever we need to do there. But from this point, number one, any stab hits from Suicune, Storm Drain soaks up. And if for whatever reason he's not running Ice Beam, because, what is it, Rest, Calm Mind, Scald. What's the, there's some other alternate Crocoon set that doesn't run Ice Beam. I just don't remember what it is. Just don't remember what it is off the top of my head. Maybe I'm getting that mixed up, I don't know. But, no matter what, as long as we have Clear Smog, he can try and set up all he wants. But, we're just going to click Clear Smog and clear all those Calm Minds away. And it's not going to make a difference. And either that's going to force him out and force him to do something, or I don't know, he would have to get a freeze on us with Ice Beam. Knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't happen. It's really one of those things where Cindy, this version of Cindy, walls the Crocoon, and Crocoon kind of sort of walls Cindy. And we had to give up Toxic because, I don't know, it really sucks. Because as long as the Suicune has Rest, Toxic honestly doesn't matter. Because in the last hour, he could just click Rest and clear the Toxic, and all that HP comes right back. It would be nice, I guess, because we could click Scald and whittle him down. We could Scald and burn him. We could Ice Beam and freeze him. That would honestly be the best thing in the world. But Clear Smog had to be on this set this week, because if we don't have anything to handle that Suicune, it bodies our entire team. We can't touch it. So it's very, very important that Cindy stays alive, specifically to handle that Suicune until the very end. What can I say? Up next, we have... Would you consider this the coach of our team? Who would you say is the coach? Well, I'm the coach, but of the Pokemon. Like, who would you say is the coach of the Tucson Terrakions? Would it be? I feel like it would be Titania. You know, we have other stars like Liability and then Cindy, but I feel like Titania just has that authoritative stance, you know, that presence on the battlefield. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just being stupid. It's the nerd in me. But we have Titania, our Mega Gardevoir, rocking the Gardevoir at Synchronized, Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Thunder Wave, and HP Fire. 4 in HP, 252 special attack, 252 speed, timid nature. This is another one of those things where I debated with Nexus whether or not to bring a modest or timid Gardevoir, but I think with us being timid, we outspeed the Typhlosion, and we 100% outspeed the Roserade. I don't think we outspeed the Thundurus, but we outspeed the Dragonite and other things like that. So it's very, very important that we run timid, because there's only a few mods on the squad that actually outspeed us at this point. But Hyper Voice, of course, hits everything besides the Scizor for crazy, crazy damage. Even the Typhlosion, Hyper Voice does like 45-50% too. We have Psyshock because, like I said before, they like to run Assault Vest Roserade. So if we can hit that Roserade on the physical side more so than special side, I mean, Roserade's physical defense is lower than special defense anyway, so maybe we'll catch that Roserade off guard, because like I said, we do outspeed, and even then, Hyper Voice still does like 30-40% to a Roserade. So with us outspeeding, we can easily Psyshock it and we're good to go. And unless for some strange reason he runs Scarf Roserade specifically for Titania, which would honestly blow my mind, that's redonkulous. But still, Psyshock is there for coverage. It hits pretty much everything where we need it to hit. Thunder Wave is there because after Hyper Voice and Psyshock, there really isn't anything else that we need. Because, like, we could say, oh, we're going to put Thunderbolt on there for Caracosta. But then again, there's Thundurus. You know, he could easily just switch in and get that Volt Absorb on Thundurus, and Thundurus outspeeds. I would rather him switch in on a Hyper Voice or a Psyshock and take as much damage as we can offer him. So, Thunder Wave is there just to slow people down. I probably won't be clicking it too much if Thundurus is around, if he decides to bring Thundurus. If Thundurus isn't there, then we might be Thunder Waving niggas left and right, because I would love to Thunder Wave that Scizor, I would love to Thunder Wave that Dragonite, I would love to Thunder Wave the Suicune, the Roserade, the Azelf, the Ambipom for sure. I would love to Thunder Wave the Typhlosion to slow it down. You know, there's just a whole lot of mods that Thunder Wave. It's just one of those things, like I said, Hyper Voice and Psyshock already do the work across the field. Thunder Wave is kind of sort of there just for utility. Last but not least, we have Hidden Power Fire, just to have something to hit the Scizor with, because you never ever know what situation you might be in. You never know. I think we might be able to live a Bullet Punch. I think, or am I getting that mixed up with something else? I might be getting that mixed up with something else. Let's damage calc it right now. Let's damage calc it right now. I don't think we can live a Bullet Punch, but I'm gonna test it and see. I'm gonna test it and see, just so that we know at the end of the day, because Bullet Punch would be the only way that he would be able to hit us, period. Bullet Punch does 98% min. I don't think you guys can see that, but it does 98% min. So we have a chance to live a Bullet Punch if we need to. If we get the lowest of all rolls, then we have a chance to live a Bullet Punch. which is kind of redonkulous, but still. Hidden Power Fire, on the other hand, as you can see, does a crazy amount of work. That is to an impish technician Scizor. If he's running Adamant, then we're not living the Bullet Punch, obviously, but if we can predict the Scizor switch in, like if he thinks we're going to go for a Psyshock or a Hyper Voice and he wants to swap out, then we can click HP Fire and absolutely do the work to this Scizor, and that's going to force him to Roost, or I don't know, it's just one of those situations where it's just up in the air. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? But still, like I said, HP Fire, Thunder Wave, Psyshock, and Hyper Voice is what Titania is rocking this week. Up next, we have the last minute switch in, Liability, our Crocodile. This week, we're doing something very, very different. And like I said, we originally had Urza here, our Swellow, because Swellow can hit Roserade hard, it can hit Suicune kind of hard, Ambipom, Typhlosion, Hitmontop, Tangela, it tears through. Terracosta, we can do a little bit of damage to. Azelf, we can pop. You know, it was one of those things where I was just looking at it and I was like, you know, this might actually put in some work this week. But Nexus opened my eyes and said, you know, Brave Bird doesn't do as much to Scizor as you thought. I think Brave Bird does like 35-40% to Scizor. That's ridiculous. I know Scizor has a lot of defense, but still, I thought for sure a Guts boosted Brave Bird would hit a little bit harder. But Thundurus is a problem, of course. Suicune with Ice Beam. Azelf could possibly live a hit. Ambipom can fake out and just whittle us down. Rotom Fan has a problem as well. Aqua Jet, E-Speed from the Dragonite. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things where the cons outweigh the pros. So, we decided to swap it out for Liability. Our Choice Banded Moxie Crocodile. Jolly Natured, 4 HP, 252 attack, 252 speed, Earthquake, Crunch, Knockoff, and Stealth Rock. I'm kind of nervous to run this week, but I'm putting all my faith in Nexus Sensei. He says that we need a wall breaker, somebody that hits hard as a truck on this team. And I don't know about you guys, but Banded Moxie hits hard as a truck. The only things that are stopping us on his team would be the Suicune, the Eviolite Tangela, or the Scizor. Everything else can get Earthquake. Well, obviously not the Thundurus or the Dragonite, but everything else, from one point or another, is taking massive damage from any of these moves that we click. And if we can clear out those few threats that are on the team that can survive Earthquakes, Earthquake, Banded Moxie Boost Earthquake, that's doing an insane amount of damage. You guys realize how hard that's hitting? I'm kind of nervous because he's only base 92 speed, but that outspeeds Roserade, where max speed with a beneficial nature, so that outspeeds Roserade, that outspeeds Typhlosion, I think. That outspeeds Dragonite, that outspeeds Scizor, that outspeeds Suicune, Hitmontop, Tangela, of course, Terracosta, I think it outspeeds Rotom Fan as well, so we have the chance to do a lot of damage and hit very, very hard. So if we ever get the point to swap in this Crook on a slower mon that's about to die, if we can just click Crunch or Knockoff and lock ourselves into that and get a Moxie boost, a Banded Moxie boost, that's insane. That is, that's doing damage, god damn it. But still, like I said, Earthquake, Crunch, Knockoff, Stealth Rock. A few weeks back, when we took on PK and the Philadelphia Feraligators, we ran a Banded Flygon with Fire Blast. And there were some people that were like, oh, Nappy's a dumbass. Does he not know that Fire Blast doesn't work for Choice Band? And I'm sitting there thinking, you're a dumbass. Did you not listen to my reasoning in the video? At that point in time, the Fire Blast was only there in case PK brought Skarmory. At no other point in the battle did I ever intend on clicking Fire Blast. That's how this is right now as well. I have Stealth Rock on Crook only if I ever get the chance to set up rocks. I would love to set up rocks because he does have a Dragonite. We need to break that multi-scale. He does have a Thundurus that would take damage from it. It would do chip damage on his heavier mons like Scizor, Suicune, Ambipom. If he wants to switch that in and out, in and out, in and out to get fake outs off, then you can take that chip damage. I think his only spinner is Hitmontop. I don't think anyone else on his team gets Defog. Actually, no, Scizor does. Never mind. Scizor can get Defogs, but still, having rocks up would be very, very nice, especially for the Dragonite. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's only there for us when we get the chance. Like that's it. That's it. Like, I'm not gonna intentionally ban myself into Stealth Rocks. So, oh, well, shit, I'm screwed now. No, obviously, I'm gonna set up Stealth Rocks and then switch out, which isn't the most ideal move, but at the same time, it's one of those things that if the opportunity arises, if we can safely set up rocks and then swap out, I'm more than happy to go for it. Besides that, we're just going to be Earthquaking, biting the hell out of, and knocking off everything on Luke's team with this thing. I've never ran Banded Moxie Crook before, but Nexus tells me it's very, very common in UU right now, apparently. So we're gonna try and hit hard and punch a hole through that wall core on his team. The last mod on our team is Blue Note the Lucario, and I'm so happy about this because I told Nexus, I said, Nexus, hit me up when you get home so we can team build. He said, okay. And I was literally like a little kid giddy with joy because I was like, Nexus, wait till you see what I got. Nexus, wait till you see what I got. And it's this Lucario right here. This Lucario is so special. I don't know why. I was just so happy I thought of this. It's one of those things where like I was getting out of the shower yesterday morning. I was like, I could do that. And it was just perfect. But we have Blue Note, our Life Orb holding Lucario, max attack, max speed, jolly nature with 4 in HP. We are steadfast with close combat, extreme speed, ice punch, and swords dance. Now, steadfast, if the Pokemon flinches, its speed is raised by 1 stage. Who do we say on the Bristol City Blazikens was a huge crush for them? Ambipom. What does Ambipom do? It likes to fake out. So, I'm hoping that Luke, being the casual player he is, might consider going for a fake out against my Lucario here, thinking, oh, damage is damage, might as well. And if he does fake out and Lucario does happen to flinch, then his speed stat will go up by 1 stage. If that happens, then we outspeed Ambipom. And that means that either Luke is going to be forced to swap that Ambipom out, or he can stay in and catch a close combat. One of the two. But if he does swap out, we can get a free Swords Dance up. That means that we are at +1 speed, +2 attack. That outspeeds everything on his team. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have to double check that again. That outspeeds everything on his team, barring any Scarfers, of course. And with the moveset we have, we can touch, poke, and prod everything on the Bristol City Blazikens team. Scizor does not appreciate a ×2 close combat. Dragonite does not appreciate a ×2 Ice Punch. Thundurus does not appreciate a ×2 Ice Punch. Suicune can eat a close combat, but only 1 at +2. It's only going to eat 1. After that, as long as it doesn't burn us with a Scald, a second close combat finishes the job. Roserade does not appreciate a ×2 Ice Punch. Azelf does not appreciate a ×2 E-Speed. So even if Azelf still does outspeed, if it's beneficial nature, because that's the one that I'm thinking of that might still outspeed us. But then again, Ambipom's base 115, I think. I know we outspeed. I don't know. I'll have to double check everything. But Azelf, being the frail little duck that it is, does not appreciate it at ×2 E-Speed. Ambipom does not appreciate a ×2 E-Speed or close combat. Close combat is like 400% at that point. Hitmontop does not appreciate it at times. Actually, I think Hitmontop would come in and intimidate. And I think at +1, Hitmontop has a chance to live. So if we can whittle that Hitmontop down a little bit or just get it gone all completely, then it has a chance to live. We, of course, don't live a close combat from Hitmontop. Typhlosion does not appreciate a close combat at ×2 or at E-Speed. Tangela is another problem. Eevee-like Tangela can eat up a hit. That's another reason why Ice Punch is here. Close combat, I think, does like 40% or something like that. I mean, we could just calc it again right now. We can just calc it again right now. OU Life Orb attackins. What? We are not adamant nature. We are jolly to make sure that we outspeed. But let's check out a Tangela that is defensive. That's bold nature, max HP, max defense. Close combat does like 30%. Then if we're at ×2, close combat still does 72%. Can we load up Ice Punch? Can we load up Ice Punch, please? Ice Punch, I mean, close combat just does more. There's not really much that Tangela could do in return to us. He could Hidden Power Fire us, which will do about half. He could Sleep Powder us, try to put us to sleep, which it still has a chance to miss. But still, close combat hits that thing so hard. What was the other one I was talking about? Suicune? Let's check out Suicune. Let's check out Suicune. This is bold nature, max HP, max defense. Close combat at +2 still does almost 90%. So this Lucario is definitely one of our, I don't want to say a win condition, but he is there to hit so very hard. The Rotom Fan can get popped by Ice Punch as well. The Caracosta is the only thing I'm worried about. If rocks are up, we can break it sturdy. If rocks are not up, then he's going to live on sturdy, and a waterfall or an earthquake would definitely do us in. So, I don't know. It just comes down to the mons that the Bristol City Blazikens bring and how we play around them. Whether or not Lucario can set up and put in work. I'm just hoping that Lucario can punch a hole in at least 1 or 2 of the mons on his team. But like I said, I was hoping that Luke wouldn't think of like a lead Lucario I double checked with Nexus to see if lead Lucario was a thing. He said some people do run lead Lucarios, but I'm hoping that he would think that maybe Liability or Rotom Heat would be our lead, so he would confidently with his Ambipom go for a fake out. We get our speed boost, we'd outspeed, and we'd be good to go. Let me double check. Ambipom. This is max speed. So if we are sitting at +1, well, it doesn't count that in. God damn it. But if we're sitting at +1, we do outspeed the Ambipom, so we should be good to go. Fingers crossed. Unless I'm overlooking something, which I wouldn't put past me, we should be good to go. But either way, with that is our team that we're bringing against Game Boy Luke and the Bristol City Blazikens. I hope that it works out for us, because we really need to win these last few weeks if we want to make it to playoffs. If not, I'm still happy going 10-5. I want to win at least one more match this season so we can go 10-5. I would be really, really happy with that. Besides that, like I said, if you guys are not already, make sure you go and follow the UCL Twitter account. That's where all important info and updates come from, so you don't want to miss out on any of that. And of course, if you guys are hyped for tomorrow's battle, if you're proud member of the Nappy Nation and you're supporting the Tucson Terrakions until the very end, make sure you smash that like button down below for us, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. But with that, I'm going to get about tomorrow, or this week's battle goes up tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But thank you all so much for the support throughout the entire season, and thank you for checking out the video. You know me to that 182.